What's up, you guys, and welcome back to the YouTube channel. In today's video, we are going to talk about how to budget to leave your job. Now, you guys know I do not believe in financial scarcity because there's no well-being in poverty or financial scarcity, and well-being is the name of the game. At the same time, there are so many reasons why you might want to leave your job. You're not getting the recognition you deserve. There's no upward mobility. You're not getting the kind of compensation you need to build ethical generational wealth. You also might just be tired than people. Whatever your reason is, there is so much opportunity for you to step into getting your expertise monetized to the highest that it can be if you are equipped with the right foundation and strategies to do it well. In this video, it's going to be really tactical about how to budget so that you know you are stepping out of your job into a creative, safe space for you to build the business of your dreams. So if this is interesting to you, then keep on watching. So what's up, community? It's your girl Chloe. For those of you who don't know, I to date have led over $2 billion in public and private investment for communities. And last spring, I pivoted my career to help you heal yourself, build ethical generational wealth, and lead change in your community without burnout. You know, I believe in this work so much that I wrote a book on the 10 biggest lessons I learned from going from 0 to 2 billion while also not sacrificing an ounce of my health, and I wrote it as my first book. Now, as a thank you for being here, I've also made this book completely free, totally free. All you have to do is click the link in the description box while copies last to get your strategy guide and start your journey for real. Now, in the meantime, let's talk about how we're gonna get you out of that job. The first thing that you need to do when you're thinking about leaving your job is understanding that it is absolutely possible for you to leave and to not experience scarcity. Now, there have been so many people in my DM saying, oh, I would do that if I could afford it. Or, you know, I would leave this job, but I have bills to pay. And let me tell y'all, I don't think these are just like small excuses. For whatever reason, there are a lot of entrepreneurs who like to just, I don't know, be a bit callous and be like, oh, that's just an excuse. Well, I did it, da 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 da. The truth is, you might have a fear that it's unsafe, it's not possible. You might be the first in your family to have a job that is at the level that you're at, okay? And I want to honor that. It's okay if you're scared. The antidote to fear is being well prepared and also having just a moment of courage to take brave action. So we're gonna get you prepared, and the first thing again you have to do is just believe that it's possible. There are way too many profitable entrepreneurs out here, and y'all forgive me for saying it like this, but with people who are not as talented as you, who are not as passionate as you, who are not as caring as you, who are really doing the thing. And the truth is, it's because they are acting on something that you're not acting on right now. They are putting in the work to lead businesses for themselves, to monetize their expertise, and to have the courage to just put in the hours. The difference between where they are and where you are is oftentimes not talent. It's purely the willingness to try and keep going, and usually in a strategic way. I want to make sure that you are rooted in the belief that not only is it possible, but you are better equipped than most people who are out here still making it work. So you have to put in effort. Now, you guys also know that I'm big on, I'm not going to tell you just like throw caution to the wind, be out here where it's like either like make or break. I don't believe in that, right? Because the breaking point is often dangerous, especially for people who have come from communities like ours, right? It's not just this simple like, oh, somebody's gonna float you, da da da. Like, it could be really devastating. So because of that, I'm going to give you the most like sound strategy I can personally give to you. We'll talk about timing, but let's just say you're still at the job and you want to start leaving, right? And you want to work for yourself this time. I want you to figure out what kind of business you want to run. And while you are working, test the idea. Now, for some people, this will look like turning it into a side hustle, getting customers, and just seeing if it works. For other people, this is really going to look like just talking about your idea with people who are well informed. right? So because some of you guys do not have the bandwidth to also like run a side hustle, that's okay, right? While I think it is my preference that you at least make some money so you can prove that like, okay, like this is positioned in a way where people will buy it. If all you can do is just do a little conversational research, that's also okay. You need to have a business plan that is sound, that makes sense, that you know you can start making money off of like at least 3 months after you've left your job. Okay? So have a plan before you leave, okay? Then from there, you are going to start looking at what is it going to cost in order for me to leave. So please notice, before I even got to the budget, your girl said you need a plan. So you need a business plan, right? Like, I'm not going to tell you go out here and just will yourself into being an entrepreneur with no idea what that looks like, right? This is part of why I believe that 90% of businesses fail in their first 3 years, because that number doesn't totally break down the amount of people who went through something at a wall and just like realized, oh, I don't like this, or oh, it doesn't work, or oh, it didn't make sense, or I didn't have enough knowledge, you name it. I want you to be well prepared. So that's the first step. Now let's talk about the money, okay? So when I coach my clients and my students on how to budget for leaving your job, I want people to have a 6-month grace period, okay? And let me walk you through what I expect for people to do in the 6 months. The first month is honestly accepting and processing that you have left your job, okay? So many people do not give time for this, and I think it's a pretty big mistake. The shift from working in 9-to-5 employment to or shift work or any kind of employment to now working for yourself, it's big. It can be scary. You might need to decompress because you've been burnt out, whatever. You need a month to really get your head on straight, okay? And for some of you, you're going to be doing business related things in this time. That's great. I'm not telling you you have to do a month of nothing. I am telling you that you need to bake in a month of doing nothing into your plans in case it happens or in case you need it. So whenever I'm consulting anybody on how to build a strategy, I always bake in a buffer because life is gonna life. We can't assume we have perfect control, perfect discipline, everything just works out. That's not how life works. That's not how you work. So we build with you and life and uncertainty in mind so that you're still going to make your goals. You're gonna be successful and you're gonna do it with ease, okay? So the first month, you're really just figuring it out, okay? Then the next month, you're going to start implementing. So you're going to start talking about what you do. You're going to start showing people like, hey, this is what I'm about. This is what I do. Start building connections. Okay, this is where you're going to be networking. The third month, I want you to start selling. Sell whatever it is you're looking to sell, the product, the service, you name it. Whether you're consulting, you're coaching, you're teaching, you have merch, you offer events, whatever it is, you need a client in the third month, okay? You're going to learn what that process looks like, and then in months 4 through 6, rinse and repeat. Keep tweaking where you need to tweak, keep bringing in clients, keep talking about what you do, and it's going to be great. But just so you see it, those first 3 months are really you becoming a solid entrepreneur, a solid business owner, okay? Now, with that 6 months, I want you to not have the stress of finances and your livelihood, right? Because when you're building to maintain your livelihood, it's a different kind of stress, and you can't create with the kind of internal clarity you need to make the best decisions. So for that reason, your budget that I have in mind is 6 months worth of living expenses. Okay. And so with that 6 months of expenses, it should give you such a great padding for you to, again, relax in the first month, kind of figure it out in the second month, market and make sales in month 3, and keep generating money in months 4, 5, 6, so that when your 6 months of living expenses runs out, you have money coming in. Okay. So it's like at no point will you have a gap if you have the right business strategy, you have the 6 months of padding, and you are doing consistent small steps to make sure your business works. Okay. So 6 months. Now, to make this 6-month budget, what I personally believe is most helpful is not trimming down your expenses to nothing, okay? I think that there's probably room like for you to trim some expenses. However, you do need to maintain a certain level of comfort in what you do so that you're not throwing your nervous system into feelings of scarcity and lack, okay? You still need to experience some comfort as you're going through. So I want you to take a look at all of your monthly expenses and start to see which of those subscriptions do you really not need? 1. 2, like, where are you spending some kind of like money where you're like, I actually don't really enjoy that. So we're just going to take that out, right? And then for the things that you do enjoy that may seem frivolous, try to keep them in there, right? Like, you still want to enjoy a good quality of life. It's why you're leaving your job in the first place. So really look at your budget. This will be up to your discernment, but get it to a point that's maybe a little pared down, but not bare bones. Okay? Because again, it's going to do things to your nervous system that aren't actually helpful for your energy as an entrepreneur and as a person. So get your expenses to a good monthly number, multiply it by 6, and now you've got your target. You have the amount of money that you're looking at and you say, okay, that's the target that I need to hit in order to leave my job. Now, there are several ways you can hit that target. So if any of you are panicking because the number looks big, please know I got you. Okay, this is the part of the video where we're going to talk about how can you expedite getting that money. Okay, and so if you feel like if you feel like you can save that, great. Some of you may already have it. It has been the case with several of my clients. Once they made the numbers real and they actually went from, leaving my job feels scary, to turning it into math, they realized they already had it. Okay, it's honestly one of the funniest bits to me when I sit down with my clients, we map it out and they realize they've been ready. They just weren't emotionally ready. So make sure that you're looking at real numbers. Okay. Now, if the real number feels scary to you, this is where we look at other sources. Okay. So in addition to your savings, we're going to look at what grants exist for entrepreneurs in your community. And when I mean your community, think about like your identity. So look for Black women entrepreneur grants. Right? Look for Indigenous entrepreneur grants. Look for first-gen entrepreneur grants. Look for people in Nebraska entrepreneur grants, right? Like, think of the different communities you belong to and start to just Google grants for people in Tennessee, grants for whatever it is, okay? So grant sourcing, I think, is a great option. The next option is if you have a multi-income household, if you live with family members, if you live with a spouse, if you have people who make income and they are willing to support like the big expenses in that time, then please, 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 please know that you are blessed for that and to accept it. Okay? There's so many times where I've met people who their husband or partner, for example, have said like they would support them, but the entrepreneur I was working with said, yeah, but I feel bad. You can't like letting yourself feel bad out of building a really important business. Y'all, that's not responsible. That's your ego, right? Saying that, I wouldn't want to be a burden when they are genuinely saying, I want to support you. You're not being a burden, right? That's something internal that you need to focus on and heal, right? So if you have the benefit of like social support in that way, please use it, okay? And then make it a goal that you are going to show amazing gratitude to them once you've made it, right? Once you have an awesome business, never forget the people that helped you along the way, okay? Now, if none of these are options for you, don't worry. I still got you, okay? So this is one of the things that I recommend last, just because I think there are several options first, but you can take out loans. You can take out obviously you don't want like an insane interest rate, but take out a healthy loan, refinance your house, figure out some way to access capital. Y'all, it is so much easier than you think it's going to be, okay? So find different sources if you feel like the amount of time it would take you to save that money wouldn't be possible. And then another one is, again, for my people who are comfortable starting like as a side hustle, start a side hustle and let all of your side hustle money go into your 6 months let me leave my job fund, okay? So many different options for you to be able to stack up money. And if none of these work for you, then what I'm going to say to you is that you should look at investing in your own growth, right? And so look at, okay, well, I don't know how to make enough money to do that. Go find a coach, go find a course. And one is they're going to cost you less of an investment than the 6 months of savings, and they're going to help you learn how to make more money so that you can leave your job. If I can think of last thoughts on your leaving your job, it's super important to me that you also have an emergency access to capital in case something happens. So I like to advise people to have a credit card that is totally paid off, that you can just set aside for emergencies. So instead of having an emergency fund, have a credit card that can be used in case of emergencies, right? And I mean like serious medical emergencies or something you could not predict, right? So that way, again, you're not in scarcity. You also don't have to have a huge emergency fund. You just have to have like credit available so you can afford it. Make sure that you're not just stepping out saying like, I'm just gonna be an entrepreneur off vibes. Have a plan. And y'all, I promise you, when you believe that you can do this, the rest, it falls into place. I promise you it does. Keep learning. You're already doing the great thing of like watching educational videos like this. I am here to help give you any knowledge that you can think of to ask. And there are other creators who, again, are also in your corner. So with that, I'm going to leave some more videos for you to check out, to soak in, figure out how you can strategize to launch that business that I know you've been eager to launch. And I will see you in the next video. Ciao.